It's a great variety. The station playing more of your favorites.
Sunny 101.9.
Sunny 101.9 WKQS, a classic from the 80s with Aha, Take On Me, 7:38 here on this Thursday morning as we continue on. Joined in the studio with folks from Marquette General Hospital. Marquette General joining us to talk a little bit about the Marquette General Foundation. With us in the studio, Pat Bray, the foundation president, and Jim Lajoie, the manager for planned giving and major gifts with the foundation. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Well, I guess we'll open it up right there, and maybe, Pat, as president, you can give us a little bit of a background on it, but what is the Marquette General Foundation?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Marquette General Foundation is the fundraising arm for Marquette General Health System. It's the organization. We're a separate 501c3. We've got our own board, but our main purpose, our only purpose, is to make sure that we're out talking with people in the community, making sure they understand that philanthropic support is incredibly important to hospitals across the country. The Marquette General Foundation's been around about 4 years, and we're really getting some good traction, I think, through our directors and getting people to understand that this is something that, to make sure that we can provide the best possible, health care to families from across the UP, philanthropy is going to be a part of that, and we're really working to make sure people understand that and see Marquette General as a place that it makes sense for them. That it makes sense for them to support.
You mentioned that it has been around for about 4 years at Marquette General. Right. Is this concept of foundations new, or is it an evolving process?
New, that's for sure. One of the things I like to say is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So Marquette General started this foundation now. There have been foundations across the country for 50 years or more that have been supporting hospitals, and that's something that we really need to make sure grows here. When you look at places like Mayo, Cleveland Clinic, that kind of thing, they have had foundations for a very long time, and the support that they receive really helps make that margin of excellence different for them, and that's what we're really working to make sure happens here.
Jim Lajoie also with us this morning. He is the manager for planned giving and major gifts, and we talk about that for planned giving and major gifts, and we talk about that, major gifts in particular. That's a big part of this effort, isn't it? How does it work, and what are some of the folks you work with on that level?
Well, absolutely, Walt. Major gifts is an important facet of any foundation, but mainly what we do is we talk to people all across the Upper Peninsula that have a vested interest in Marquette General. A lot of those are grateful patients and families. A lot of those have a connection. A lot of those have an interest in healthcare. And by major gifts, we're talking about those people who are interested in contributing, say, $5,000 or more to the Marquette General Foundation. And it's a process, and it's something that just doesn't happen overnight. It involves sometimes up to 5, 6, 7 times getting together, talking about their interests, how they would like to make a difference. And, we talk in our business quite a bit about making gifts and making gifts to the foundation. You can make contributions, that's one thing, but when you make a vested interest, you have to do it from the heart. And what we do is we find what people's passions are. And in those conversations, a lot of times things will come up about they had a positive experience being treated for cancer, or they had a loved one that was treated for a heart attack, or whatever the case may be. And it's those types of people that want to give, that feel a connection, and realize the importance of what Marquette General does as a regional medical center. Now,
I realize it sounds like maybe a simple question that could open up a whole other line of discussion, but when it comes to the hospital, when we talk about Marquette General, what overall role is it that the foundation has in the operation and the day-to-day existence of the hospital? I guess either one of you.
Sure, the hospital's budget, especially now when hospitals across the country are struggling, especially with things like, equipment. There's always a need for more equipment than the hospital budget will be able to take care of. When we're out talking with people in the community, that's one of the things we make them aware of. These are things that we'd very like to have, but aren't going to happen this year. An example of that is recently we were able to raise about $80,000 through the Celebrating Our Champions special event in September, and some support from the volunteers at the hospital. And that was put towards purchase of a new NICU infant transporter, which brings like 75 very sick babies a year from across the UP to Marquette General for our neonatal intensive care unit. That's the kind of thing that the hospital foundation works on. We try to make sure, as Jim was saying, that when we're out talking with people, we try to find out what their interest is, because a lot of them are grateful patients and families where they've, for one reason or another, have a particular interest in one department of the hospital. We work with them to say, these are some of the things that this department has identified that philanthropic support could help with.
Pat Bray is with us this morning. He is the president of the Marquette General Foundation. Also, Jim Lajoie, the manager of Planned Giving and Major Gifts. When we come back with these two gentlemen in just a moment, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get involved if this is something that is tapping into perhaps an interest of yours, or you have the passion that they're talking about, or one of those grateful patient experiences as well. It's all talking about the Marquette General Foundation this morning here on Sunny 101.9 WKQS. Right now, it's Pat Benatar with We Live for Love, 744.